Hello and welcome to FxWB New Beginnings podcast with Michelle. How are you guys doing? We had a wonderful chat last week with Bethany on FxWB New Beginnings podcast. Bethany is a functional medicine doctor. If you did not listen to our chat, please take time and listen in. We had a great time sharing a lot about what is functional medicine. So we are kind of like so happy to and geared up to give you an example this week and to learn a little bit more about functional medicine and to encourage you to come on board with us to learn more about how you can be a healthier individual. Ladies, this is for you. FxWB New Beginnings podcast, we are always talking about health and well-being. We are always wanting you to learn about yourself, understand who you are, finding your purpose, learning what relationships are good for you, learning about relationships, community, and even learning about finances. Well-being is it's well-rounded. It's a lot of facets of well-being. We want you to be able to have a good understanding of all the facets so that you can be healthier. I am Michelle Bailey, and we always talk about health on Functional Wellbeing New Beginnings podcast. We love for you to continue liking and subscribing to the channel so that we can share much more with you each and every time you come on board this channel. I am interested in always sharing about functional nutrition, functional medicine, and ways that one can be healthier. And Bethany has joined me again this week so that we can kind of dive into an example for you of what one may be going through, how functional medicine can help you, and learn what are some of her ways of sharing her passion of getting you better and to have a healthier lifestyle during this time of need. So welcome again, Bethany, for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me, Michelle.
Yes, I am grateful to have you on here. We mentioned in the last episode that we are individualistic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's break that down a little bit before we get into our example.
Yeah. So basically, I think we as women feel like we're just a number when we go to the gynecologist, and you're given like the same information no matter what's going on with you, or at least that's kind of what it sounds like when you talk to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so in functional medicine, I really try and make sure it is individualized and just to what is going on with you. However, some labs are the same that we're going to do. Some of the recommendations might be the same, but there might be little tweaks along the way that are specifically just for you. And in general, the big things that we work on are hormone balancing and decreasing inflammation. Those are the two main things that pretty much everybody hears as far as women coming into the practice.
Yes. So hormone balancing and inflammation, guys, we can talk a whole lot about that, and we plan to, but not in this one. Well,
Yeah.
we'll talk a little bit about it, but we plan to talk about it much more in a series that we have planned for you guys. But today we want to talk about your story a little bit
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and how that has influenced you getting into this practice and looking at using functional medicine for ladies that may be having problems with infertility.
Yeah, so infertility really is a very broad brush, right?
Mhm.
There can be multiple reasons for infertility for sure. There are, though, main reasons that infertility do happen. And a couple of the main reasons would be that there is a hormonal or a chemical imbalance where you might hear your friends saying, like, my progesterone is low, or my estrogen's this or that, or I had all these labs done and there's no answers, but I still can't get pregnant. And the doctor's just looking for those chemical imbalances. The other main thing for infertility can be that there is endometriosis or things that are kind of in the way of the fallopian tubes or the uterus where the baby is able to travel down and then land in a nice, nourishing environment. And
Yeah.
if there's endometriosis there, it can really cause issues with that. The other thing can be that there can just be inflammation in the lining in general, or clotting. That can be another issue.
Mhm.
And so I do treat quite a few women that have infertility or say recurrent miscarriage, and also looking into the chemical imbalances. So those
Mm.
are kind of the common things that we look at.
Okay, so let us, for an example, if we have a
Mhm.
lady coming into you and she has endometriosis, for instance,
Yes.
and she has been trying for years to have kids, and
Mhm.
now that say 21, they've been trying at age 21, but now she's 31 and she's like, oh my gosh, I need to have this child. What would you do, or how would you help someone in that situation?
Yeah. So basically, endometriosis is fed by extra estrogen that we get from our environment. And in mainstream medicine, they don't really talk about why endometriosis happens. It's just that it's there and that
Hmm.
it's quite common, right?
Yes.
And the traditional way of taking care of it is either that you surgically remove it or cauterize it, or that you go in and you shut down the hormones that they think are kind of feeding it. So that
Hmm.
basically they just shut your ovaries down. They make them not work
Right.
so that it doesn't continue to grow and give you issues. However, there's side effects with both options.
Mhm.
And with both options, they can lead to more infertility.
Yes. Oh, oh.
And there are surgical treatments for endometriosis that I believe can be helpful with infertility, but I try not to use those until it's like the nth degree. And there are quite a few women that are coming to me not wanting to go the surgical route,
Right.
nor the medication route where it shuts down the ovaries because, they do want to have a baby.
Yes.
So when they come to me, I first go through all of their symptoms. And it's not just your gynecological symptoms. We talk about your gut health. We talk about your brain health. Are you sleeping? Are you exercising? What are the chemicals that you're using every day on your skin? So it's kind of looking at a lot of different things to explain what might be happening.
Mhm.
And then I also tend to dig into diet and intestinal health because the extra estrogen that we get from our environment and just from living, it actually gets detoxified or metabolized or taken out of our body by our intestines.
Mhm.
And so if the intestines are not quite working the way that they need to, they don't have the right balance. And if you've heard the term microbiome or like that that setting is off, then it won't be able to get rid of the estrogen the correct way. And you actually start to reabsorb that estrogen. And
Yes.
it kind of feeds the fire
Mhm.
of the endometriosis and the painful periods and the heavy, heavy periods.
Mhm.
And so my job is to go in and cut that out and fix the microbiome so that it starts to flourish and do what it needs to do and kick out the extra estrogen, which then stops the endometriosis from growing profusely as it might be. In some cases, we can totally draw it back to where the periods are no longer painful, the periods are not heavy, and you're able to get pregnant very easily. For
Mhm.
other women, maybe the endometriosis has been there for a long time. And so I might be able to just get it to stop so that it's not continuing to grow. It still may be there and need some care and attention, but we can stop it from growing.
Right.
And third of all, it may be so extensive that maybe you are in so much pain that you can't have intercourse, or it's just terribly painful to get
Mhm.
pregnant. That's when I work in coordination with the experts that I know in gynecology to then take care of you either surgically or with a medication for a time, and we work hand in hand to take care of you. So in functional medicine, I don't um, isolate myself from other practitioners. I am like a beacon, and I'm looking for the other good practitioners that I can refer you to so that we give you good whole person care. And
Yes.
so that if you do need a surgery, I collaborate with a good surgeon who's going to respect your autonomy and respect that you have questions,
Mm-hmm.
and then also does excellent work in taking care of you if that's what you need. And so,
Yes.
no one's the same. There's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a variation there.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the main ways that I tackle that. And then with Michelle, I in the midst of all of that, I do also recommend quite a bit of diet changes
Mm-hmm.
and maybe eliminating certain foods that can cause the intestinal lining to be off balance. And so that's where Michelle comes in and being able to educate you on how to choose the right foods and how to eat to heal yourself.
Yes.
And that makes a big difference as well.
Yes. So I like how you break that down. And one of the things that stick out a lot for me is we are individualistic.
Hmm.
So you can have endometriosis, but the reason behind you having endometriosis varies.
Hmm.
And learning that is important from the information that you as a patient share with your doctor. And
Hmm.
that information now can influence your treatment. And I say the word treatment because it is a treatment, whether you're doing a surgery versus whether you are changing your diet.
Hmm.
That is a treatment so that you could actually feel better and be able to have a child if you want to.
Yes, yeah, because
That's the end
oftentimes,
result, right?
yes, in mainstream medicine, we will do a surgery or we will give you a medicine to shut the ovaries down for a time to keep it from growing. But when we give it more time or you stop taking that medicine, it all comes back.
Yes.
And so our goal is for it not to all come back, but to actually be better than it was before. And then that in turn helps your fertility. And in all actuality, whatever is feeding the fire or the flames of endometriosis tends to also dampen the quality and the how well your ovaries are working.
Yes.
And the health of the ovary is your fertility health. It
Yeah.
really truly is. That is the heart of your fertility is your ovary. And so if your ovaries are suffering along with endometriosis, then they won't work as well. But if we can nourish them, and when we're taking care of the endometriosis, we're nourishing the ovaries at the same
Mhm.
time,
Yes.
that improves your fertility quite a lot.
Yes. So as you listen in, this might be really short and sweet, but when you think of it, this process takes time. This is not a quick fix.
Yeah.
To learn what's going on with you, there are different things that may have to happen to help get to that point of understanding why you're having this issue, to be able
Hmm.
to get it fixed. And even when you start the process of getting it fixed, it's still not a one and done thing either. It isn't just magically you had endometriosis for 12 years and you just want to
Yes.
snap your fingers and it's gone. No,
Right. You didn't get this way overnight, so we don't
no,
get out of it overnight.
no.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So learning to be patient with oneself is
Yes.
important during any process of change.
Hmm.
You want to change your habits? That takes a whole mindset to want to do this. Looking at what the outcome is, yes, you might be saying, but all of this, Michelle, I just want to have this child. Yes, but then if you're stressing about it, you're not going to have that child,
Hmm.
right? And you could be doing all the right things in between there. If you don't change how you think and how you actually see this process as a way of healing
Hmm.
from the inside out, then you're not going to see the results you're looking for.
Yeah, and the other thing that you can consider, that I think is looking at the bigger picture.
Hmm.
When you are preparing your body for pregnancy, you want it to be the very best, correct?
Yes.
And however your body is, whatever state it is in, especially the microbiome,
Hmm.
is what you are passing to your child.
Yes.
And it's just kind of crazy to think, but over the last 10 years, there's been quite a lot of research demonstrating that. And whatever the mother gives, what her status of health is at that time is what she is giving to her baby
Hmm.
at that time. And
Yes.
so then you are laying down the groundwork for that child's whole life.
Correct.
And that's kind of heavy.
It is.
And don't let it make you be stagnant and not do
Mhm.
anything, but
Mhm.
let that help you know that you can make a difference and you can actually improve the health of your family that you're desperately trying to create.
Yes.
And not only will you have a healthier baby, but then when that baby is under your care and you're choosing its food and you're choosing the products that you put on its skin and you're choosing the environment that they live in, you're going to already have that knowledge so that you can make those better choices and have a healthier family. Whereas
Yeah.
if you have a quick fix, you're not going to really learn those things.
Mhm.
You're not going to change your diet. You're not going to have the good, healthy changes that are actually going to affect your whole family that you're planning. And this will just make you far more successful in life in general and not just for the here and now.
So true. And we just chose this example, but while you're speaking there, that's pretty much my story
Hmm.
because I've had endometriosis for all of my and when I say pre-menopause, I'm talking about as a puberty, when you now get you
Mhm.
menstrual, ladies, and you're in the childbearing age. I wasn't able to have children, but I knew something was wrong. And subsequently, I found out it was endometriosis. I did have a surgery, but even having that surgery didn't change anything. The endometriosis came back. And I was told by the doctors, it's going to come back. So you'll have another surgery. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
So for me, I took it upon myself to research more about it. And at that point in time, I was into bodybuilding. I've been an athlete competing. So I said, you know what? I am going to exercise and I'm going to eat right. This will change on its own. I never focused on it. I focused on being healthy and being an athlete and doing things to stay healthy. Lo and behold, 10 years after having my surgery, not being on birth control 5 of those years allowed for me to become pregnant, to have a son. And I didn't even know, we didn't even plan it, but it just happened. So when people think of it, infertility could be caused by many different ways. And if you don't, if you keep focusing on the negative, that negative will stick around. Versus if you start looking at ways to positively help yourself heal, it's going to change. It's going to allow for the change. When you're not even thinking about it, boom, you get pregnant. And, you know, you just want to be able to really trust God on the process. It took some time. 2003 was my surgery, but I had my son in 2013. It's
Mm,
10 years. If I was worrying about having a child, I don't think I'll ever had a child.
mhm,
Versus living my life, not worrying about it, just continuing my life. It allowed for me now to have a child. So we're not saying this might not be your story. That's just my story.
mhm,
Everybody's different, but learning about yourself helps, and give yourself that time to learn about yourself because it's a process
mhm.
to heal. So
Definitely is a process. That's a lovely story for sure.
Thank you. Well, I really want people to hone in on the fact that everybody's individual, everybody's different.
Hmm.
Your case or your issue is different than mine.
Yes.
But what we want you to learn from it is there is help.
Hmm.
But for the help to work, it has to start with you, the
Hmm.
individual, wanting to get help so that you can live better in the long run. So, we wanted to share with you today this story because we wanted you to understand that you can get help.
Hmm.
And Bethany and I want to share more with you guys. We are going to have a masterclass together so we could actually break this down even more. And in this masterclass, we are going to be able to learn more about what your story is. And if you need the help, how we can help you live better. The natural way. We go the natural way first. That's for sure.
Yes.
That's what functional medicine is all about. That's what functional nutrition is all about. Using the
Hmm.
foods to heal you, heal what's going on with you, help you heal yourself from the inside out. That's our mandate this year is to
Hmm.
help ladies come together, understand themselves so that they can heal from the inside out. And some people might say, well, Michelle, I ain't in perimenopause. I'm postmenopause now, but I have issues too. Yes, you do. Didn't go anywhere. It stuck with you. It's just in a
Yeah.
different form
Just
now.
changes. Yes.
Correct. It's just in a different form. So you're not out of this. You're not out of this. We want every woman to understand that there is a way functional medicine, functional nutrition can help you live better. So look out for that information. We're going to share that information with you guys shortly. We want you all to understand that we are here to help you and we want to help you and share more information and do a deeper dive in understanding the the nuisances sometimes of
Hmm.
what's causing us to be sick and what's causing us to have infertility and what's causing us to even get hot flashes and have these issues. We want you to be able to live better and not feel like, oh, I know we were cursed after
Right.
Eve decided to bite this
Yeah.
apple. Yeah, we were cursed, yes, but
Right.
we don't need to live this curse, okay, people? Because out of it we have beautiful children.
Yes.
We have, the opportunity to be a mother. And even if you're not a mother, you still have that opportunity to be a
Yeah.
mother to someone else.
Yes.
All right. And then teach them because words of wisdom always come as we get older, right? Because we learn so much after going through so much, right? We can now help others in this situation as well. So thank you all so much again for listening in at FxWB New Beginnings podcast. We would love for you to like and subscribe and share this story and so that we can all help each other live better in the long run. You have anything else to share with us, Bethany, before we head on out?
No, I think we're good. Thank you so much for being here and doing this. And I appreciate everyone listening. And I'm excited to do some more and hopefully connect with the listeners.
Yes. Thank you again, guys. We are grateful, Bethany, for you taking time to do this and sharing with others. And let's get going. Let's 2025. We need to think about being the healthier you, and healthier you helps the whole family in the long run. So
Yeah.
we are grateful to share with you our passions, and we are grateful to have you listening in. Ask us as many questions as you want. We are here to help you. Thank you again for listening in to FxWB New Beginnings podcast. Today we are here with Miss Bethany, and we are grateful. Thank you, Miss Bethany.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.